Hi there, everyone, and welcome into our final edition of the season of the Wildcat Weekly Coaches Report with head women's soccer coach Steve Simmons. I'm Joe Stewart. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Linfield Sports Network. Coach, hard to believe, but November 6th, and here we are looking into the final weekend of the season.
Yeah, it goes fast, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
It does, and I mean, if you look at the sport in general for collegiate athletics, soccer is one of the shorter seasons that there are offered. So, but when it goes fast, it goes fast. And so, we try to make the most of every opportunity we can to train and play these games. But yeah, senior day coming up, and a lot of emotions that'll be stirring this weekend for sure. Yeah.
Well, before we get into this upcoming weekend, I just want to touch on the last couple of weeks in general. You're coming off a split weekend with a 1-0 win on against Whitman in Walla Walla on Saturday, but then falling 2-1 on Sunday to Whitworth. The back half of the season for you guys has been very road heavy, and that's shown some struggles with this team. The road record now sitting at 2-6, and the overall record dipping below 500 here in the second half. What do you think the differences have been for your team on the road compared to here in McMinnville this season?
Well, I think that when we played the team second time around, oddly enough, I do think that we've improved in what we want to do. But I also think that our opponents have reacted in a way to make it more difficult on us, which in a weird way is kind of a good thing, because I think that the opponents are respecting us enough that they're going to have to scheme us. And which I said to the players, it's a responsibility of ours to be able to be better than whatever scheme is against us. Sure. And so that's just another point of growth that we are. I knew we were going to get there at some point. Did I expect us to lose that stretch of games we lost? Not so much, but I did feel that was going to be more difficult. And then you add the road piece to it, because there's a different routine to things, when you're on the road. And so that's going to be on me to make sure that in the future I can give us a routine that's going to give us the best chance to be consistent. And so having said all that, I think that having our opponents do what they're doing to us is a sign that we are moving forward. It's just now converting those moments into plays that we know we can make.
Sure. Well, now looking ahead to this weekend, it's far from an easy end of the schedule, with on Saturday the already clinched conference champs, PLU, coming to town, and then on Sunday in Newburgh against George Fox team. That it was a very gritty match that ended in a double overtime draw when they came here to Linfield. Starting with PLU, that first time you played them up in Puyallup ended 1-0 after they scored early, but they controlled a lot of the game. What do you think you have to do differently here this weekend to create better offensive chances and really hang in, not just hang in, but give them a fight and possibly come away with a draw or victory?
Yeah, when you're playing a team like PLU, that's certainly on a roll, is you first of all, you don't want to be able to concede as early as possible, right? Like we did last time. But having said that, they're a land acquisition team, right? And what I mean by that is they're really, really good at forcing teams to kind of play in their own half, whether they're on the ball or not on the ball. And so what we need to do is make sure that we can acquire land on their side so that we can move the position of the field closer to their goal. And so when that happens, it gives us a higher probability of creating more chances. And the game is played different when you're in your attacking half. So that's, playing PLU is going to be really good for this team, because it offers us a chance to see, okay, right now that's where the standard is in the conference to win the league. Where are we at? And so we're really excited about doing that. And so in some ways, we're in a no-lose situation. We can see, okay, let's give it a go. We want to see where we're at. We want to see where we're stand. And then it gives us that momentum going to the following day on the road to George Fox.
Yeah, and with that George Fox game, that was a very interesting match where It was really physical, like I said, and then neither team were able to control, the game for very long, more than a few minutes at a time, really. What do you think has to be done differently, and do you think there's going to be a similar type of effort from both sides here in the final game of the year?
I think the effort, you can't deny that's going to be similar because it's the Yamhill County rivalry. This has been going on well before, it was going on when I was here before. So there's always emotions that go into that. But you have two different styles of play. PLU's got a certain style of play. George Fox has another style of play. And with George Fox's style of play, they get up emotionally. They do a really, really good job of winning 50-50 balls, first and second balls, and they're very opportunistic. So that means that we have to be sharp on the things that we need to do. And so I thought last time we played, we were coming off of a bit of a hangover from the PLU game we played before. And so that was the big takeaway for the teams. Like, listen, the turnaround time is very short, but at the end of the day, we still have to make sure that, when Sunday comes, that we are focused on Sunday, and whatever happened the day before, we got to flush that out and get after it. So that's going to be the challenge for us. That was our takeaway the first time, and I'm confident that we can, really set it straight this time around.
So in that Whitworth match, we actually saw Alyssa Backinson in goal, not Maddie Reimer. She sustained an injury from the Whitman game, correct? Can we, two-part question then, can we expect to see Alyssa back in goal this weekend? And how has Maddie dealt with this rash of injuries that she's had here in this junior season after having such a terrific year last year? I mean, it's got to be somewhat frustrating, not just for her, but for her teammates.
Well, I tell you, take a number. Maddie's one of many that have been unfortunate with the injuries this year, and it's been interesting to try to put my finger on it. But the thing with Maddie that we all know is that she, is very aggressive and takes no prisoners, and so in that way, I think she was unfortunate to pick up another injury, and I know it kills her that she's not able to be herself and compete at the level she wants to be at. But at the end of the day, it's next person up, and every team in the conference, every sports program is next person up, and that's why as a squad we train the way we train, because you're gonna have injuries, you're gonna have scenarios, explainable or not, that people have to step up. So I thought Alyssa stepped up, did really well against Whitworth, and so it's good to know that we have someone that has a little confidence, that the players have confidence in her to come in and get the job done. Definitely.
Well, and then finally, of course, as you mentioned earlier, with this being the final weekend of the season, that means this final home match on Saturday is Senior Day. And this is a particularly special Senior Day with 10 players graduating from the team this season. What do you really have taken from this squad, and how do you think they've helped really lay the foundation for what you're trying to build long-term here in your first season back at the helm?
Yeah, this is, in every positive way imaginable, a very unique class. And I had talked to someone earlier about having 10 seniors go through the years they've gone through together. It doesn't happen a lot at any level.
In any sport.
Especially when you look at the roster size of a soccer team. And so that says a lot about how they care about Linfield soccer, and certainly how much they love each other, which is super, super evident. They are no doubt have laid the foundation well before I took over. I just am lucky enough to be able to get one of their seasons while they're here. I can guarantee you this going forward. A lot of the efforts that they have put in during their time at Linfield will be reflected in how we move up the rankings going forward, and it will be that way. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of some other groups at Linfield in the past that did the same thing, and I told the group there's some shocking similarities with that. Shocking similarities. And so, on senior day, there's nothing better than to send the senior group out the right way. And so, and to play PLU, who've already clinched, I think that for us and on so many levels, but especially for the seniors, is a great way to see, where they're at and what they've done to the program and how much they mean to us.
Well, that's terrific. And, we're all going to be rooting, we're always rooting for a Linfield win, but particularly this Saturday, sending off this group. It's going to be a particularly emotional match with a lot of passion and a lot of competition.
Yes, it will be, and we're looking forward to it. And I'm telling you what, I don't remember a stretch of weather like this in November where it's been this beautiful. And the fact that, the little details that, both seniors groups, the men's and women's soccer team, get to have their senior days on the field, which is great.
Yeah, that'll be terrific. Well, again, that is this Saturday when the Wildcats have their final home match here against Pacific Lutheran at 11:30 for kickoff. Of course, we'll have coverage on the Linfield Sports Network, but if you can make it down, we sure hope you do, to see this group of seniors play one last time in McMinnville, and then they will play one last time for real on Sunday in the big rivalry match against George Fox. Thanks so much for joining us all season long here on the Linfield Sports Network. And Coach Simmons, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.